Created by Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk, and Tim Minear, the show follows firemen from Station 118 of the LAFD, policemen, paramedics, and 911 dispatchers as they juggle between sticky situations at work and in their personal lives. In a position where every call could mean the difference between life and death, the emotions are high with this one. So before we take you through our top 10 most emotional scenes, you might want to grab some tissue. Starting at number 10 with Athena's fight for justice. Athena, played by Angela Bassett, has been troubled by a catastrophe from her past for 28 years. Her fiancé Emmett was murdered when she first started working as a police officer, and the murderer escaped justice. After learning that the murder weapon has been found, she instantly sets out on a mission to bring the killer to justice. Throughout the episode, there are flashbacks of a youthful Athena and her deceased fiancé that tug at your heartstrings. Despite her current struggles, her efforts are rewarded when she's able to apprehend the murderer. In a moving scene, Athena visits the mother of her late fiancé to inform her that they finally found the person who killed her son. Ugh, the tears wouldn't stop. Next at number 9, Bobby's cry for help. We know that Bobby has been dealing with his drinking problem while mourning his family that died in a fire a few years ago. Bobby regrets it because he feels responsible for their deaths, and so he relapses after a challenging day of rescuing people from a crashed jet. The fire captain barely manages to maintain his composure while putting on a brave face at work. When Hen and Buck visit Bobby at home, they become fully aware of all his issues. After a few hesitant rejections, Bobby finally breaks down and acknowledges his need for help. Now number 8 for Buck's confrontation. The relationship between Buck's parents and that of his sister Maddie is tense. They arrive on a visit, but the get-together goes awry pretty quickly. In a furious exchange, Buck discusses the actions of their parents in the past and claims that he's in therapy because he's sick of feeling let down. In response, his parents complain that Buck and Maddie have never made things simple for them and demand angrily to know what they should have done. Hurt, Buck claims that they ought to have loved him in any case. This sequence, which depicts the tragedy of parental neglect and its long-lasting impact on the siblings, is terribly honest and heartbreaking. 7 is next. Remember Maddie's fight? The threat of her ex-husband Doug has been around since Maddie first came to Los Angeles. It all comes to light when he admits to having been following her around the city and even making friends with Chimney in an effort to get close to her. He stabs Chimney before abducting Maddie and taking her to a hut in the midst of the forest. With Doug's terrifying behavior intensifying by the second, the scene has the feels of a horror film. Maddie gets into a physical fight with Doug before fatally stabbing him, and when Buck finds her, she falls into his arms and sobs in relief. Her understanding that she's free of her beast is difficult to watch without becoming moved. Don't go anywhere. More emotional moments from 911 ahead. Coming up at number 6, the escalator proposal. We agree there was no need for this heartbreaking story. Had us going from smiling to crying in minutes. The scene starts with a humorous exchange between Daniel and his girlfriend Ariel as they ascend an elevator in a shopping center. But due to some malfunction, he falls and becomes trapped under the escalator. He's successfully removed by the 118 team, much to everyone's relief, and then the atmosphere changes a few seconds later as he abruptly collapses from the excessive blood loss. Despite Chimney's best efforts, the man passes away in front of his future wife. It hurts to watch her scream in sorrow as she realizes what has transpired. It serves as a sobering reminder that despite their best efforts, heroes can't always save everyone. Up next, the part when Eddie's shot. In a startling change of events, Buck sees Eddie being shot by a sniper. While the shooter continues to aim for the first responders, he puts his life in danger to bring Eddie back to safety. Even though they were able to get to the hospital, Eddie's condition is still uncertain. One of the highlights of 911 is the closeness between Buck and Eddie, and it's clear that they're close as Buck sobs as he tells Christopher about his father getting hurt. Luckily, Eddie made it through. He informs Buck that in the event of his passing, Buck will take over the role of Christopher's legal guardian, which only throws us over the already intense cliff of emotions we were standing upon. Moving on to number 4, Maddie's disappearance. Maddie tells Chimney that she's experiencing postpartum depression after the birth of their daughter, Ji-yoon. The situation with the baby while he's at work sends her into a spiral. With a video message for Chimney, Maddie leaves her at the firehouse and then vanishes. Chimney locates the physician who treated Ji-yoon at the hospital in a confused and desperate state. As he regrets his failure to be there for Maddie and the fact that she needs help that he was unable to provide, he breaks down in tears. The scene shows the depth of Chimney's suffering in the wake of Maddie's mysterious disappearance. Next is the attack on Athena. At number 3, Athena investigates a storage facility she thinks belongs to the serial rapist while looking into a case involving one of them. She calls for assistance without realizing he is around. While Maddie and the other dispatchers watch helplessly, he strikes her. 118 can hear Athena struggling for her life on the radio as they go to the facility. The disturbing moment focuses on Bobby and the group's expression of helplessness and worry as they watch Athena struggle. Even though she was badly hurt, she was able to stop the man from fleeing. As one of the show's strongest characters, to see Athena in that state was heartbreaking to witness. Second, lastly, is the police horse deserves a special mention. Don't you just hate seeing animals suffering in movies and shows? Like, we might control our tears on the main character dying, but don't you dare show us a dying animal. One of the most tragic 911 incidents is a situation with an unanticipated victim. In a Halloween-themed episode, the 118 responds to reports of a person on fire and arrives at an outdoor party. A police horse is startled by the sound, which causes him to bolt and suffer injuries as a result. It's already heartbreaking to see the horse in pain, but it's made even sadder by the sadness felt by all the policemen. The crew decides to put the horse to sleep because they're aware of his misery. It's a heartbreaking sequence that makes it tough to watch without crying. And lastly, Hen's car accident broke us. As she gets ready for her Philharmonic debut, a young woman by the name of Evelyn plays the cello for her grandmother. While returning home, she receives a call and misses the ambulance sirens as she passes an intersection. She loses control and the ambulance collides with the vehicle. Hen looks on helplessly as the squad tries to free Evelyn from the crumpled automobile. She's devastated when Evelyn tragically passes away right there on the spot. It's the worst how quickly a talented young woman's life was cut short in a moment. Now, before you go anywhere, are you wondering what to expect from Season 6 ahead? Don't worry, we got you. With its Season 5 finale, 911 gave its characters a well-earned break. Well, with the exception of Buck and Taylor's complicated relationship, almost everyone had a happy ending of sorts. But it doesn't mean happier things aren't on the horizon for both of them. Athena and Bobby have spoken about having their honeymoon for a while, but for a variety of reasons, they've never been able to put it into action. So maybe part of that will be shown in the Season 6 finale. Now, what exactly will the season's episode count be, and when will the season finale air? We're curious as to how much longer the 118 will be a part of the season now that they're back. Like most shows, we aren't yet given the precise number of episodes yet. While filming, circumstances might change, and recently that's definitely been the case. On the other hand, we can sort of guess based on past seasons. It's important to note that there aren't always consistent episodes in this show, and 2 of the seasons had fewer episodes than the others. We think it'll come up to 18 episodes. It's going to take something big for that to change. We're also hearing that a few days before Christmas and the start of the new year, the show will take its winter hiatus, so around December to January. In place of this show returning, we anticipate the 4th season of 911 Lone Star to debut in January. The 6th season of 911 is expected to premiere in March 2023 and end in May 2023. Make sure to keep an eye on things. That's a wrap for this video. Which scene from 911 had you in tears? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.